Around here. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, we have invited you here today not to complain, but to express our dissatisfaction with the manner in which the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission is treating our request for the voter register for Kibra constituency. The Election Act 2015 obligates the Commission to make the register of voters available at all times for inspection. The same law presupposes the creation of a public web portal to enable members of the public to inspect the register. Further to this, Section 27 of the Iebc Act requires the Commission to publish and publicize all important information within its mandate affecting the nation. It further provides for the procedure of accessing information within its purview. As required by the above stated law, we proceeded to write to the Commission requesting for the updated voter register for Kibra constituency in a letter dated 20th September 2019 by our Executive Director, Mr. Oduro. 10 days later, on 30th September 2019, after failing to get a response from the Commission, the Secretary General of the party, Mr. Edwin Sifuna, wrote a follow-up letter to find out the status of the initial request and what the Commission was doing about it. Again, the Commission remained mum. This prompted the party, through Rachir and Amolo advocate, to write another letter to the electoral body on 2nd of October 2019, demanding to know why the Commission was procrastinating on the request by the party. A similar letter was addressed to the Kibra constituency returning officer. Our lawyer's letter sought the following from the Iebc. 1, to provide a full list of all persons registered as voters in Kibra constituency by 2017 general election. 2, to provide a full list of all persons registered as voters since 2017 to date, including the dates and centers of registration. 3, to provide full details of all those registered on transfer since declaration of vacancy to date, specifying the constituency which their votes were transferred from. And 4, to provide the full updated manual and electronic register of voters which will be used in the Kibra constituency by-election on Thursday, the 7th of November, 2019. It was not until after the letter of Otiende Amolo advocate that the Commission acting CEO, Mr. Marjan Hussein Marjan, responded by writing a letter addressed to the Secretary General of the party on the 3rd of October 2019, asking the party to make a payment of Kenya shillings 15,000 at the Iebc cash office and submit the receipt to the Directorate of Voter Registration and Electoral Operations for processing of the documents requested for. The party complied on the same day and paid the 15,000. However, which was on 3rd of October. However, since then, no action has been taken. The Commission with regard, no action has been taken by the Commission with regard to our request. Instead, we have been subjected to back and forth game, being engaged in a song of musical chairs and tossed left, right, and center from one department to another. With 3 weeks to the by-election, and there being no commitment by the Commission to provide the updated voter register requested by the party, we are left with no option but to question the motive behind the hide-and-seek game that we are being subjected to. It is in this unwillingness of the Iebc to conduct elections strictly in accordance with the law that breeds suspicion and leads us to start believing rumors doing rounds of secret meetings between top Iebc officials and some Jubilee senior officials, which are not limited to attempts to alter the voter register. Our supporters expect vigilance on our part, even as they wait to do their duty at the ballot. And it is not for this reason that we want to notify. It is for this reason that we want to notify Iebc that we shall be marching to their offices tomorrow at 9 a.m. in the morning. We shall not leave the said offices unless and until we are supplied with the official updated register to be used in the Kibra by-election. Members of the media, I have the copies of the letters that we have written to Iebc. This is a letter we have written to Iebc on 20th of September 2019 to one Mr. Wafula Chebukati. This letter was written by Mr. Odworo Ngwen asking for the register of the Kibra constituency. Having gotten no response, on 20th again of September, we wrote another letter, again by Odworo Ngwen, asking for the same register. No response. The same 20th, two letters were written, one to Wafula Chebukati and one to the Iebc offices. As I said in my statement, it's much later that we got a response from the CEO asking us to pay. After our lawyers, Rachir and Omolo, have written to them, is when we got a response and they said we pay 15,000 shillings to get the register. And we paid the 15,000 fees, and this is the receipt that we were issued with. I have a copy of the receipt here, and that was on 3rd of October. And today is which date? 9th or 8th. A whole week we have gotten no response. Now, in my concluding remarks, I want to say this before I give it to the chairman of the party, that I'm aware of the mischief that is happening in Iebc. And I'm aware the plans that they have. They know that's our stronghold. And by the way, we are not complaining and we are not saying we have any doubt that we are going to win that election. And nobody should come and say that ODM is complaining or doing anything of that nature. They know ODM is Kibra and Kibra is ODM. But I know of the mischief that is being planned because, as you know, as a country, sometimes elections are not done in accordance with the law. And you know, sometimes elections can be corrupted. It has happened before, and there is no doubt it can happen in Kibra. I'm aware of two commissioners from northern Kenya who take breakfast, dinner, and supper. I mean breakfast, lunch, and dinner in the house of a senior Jubilee leader from northern Kenya. I'm aware of that. I'm also aware that Jubilee has hired the services of the former Cabinet Secretary, Davis Chirchir, to go and manipulate electronically the election of Kibra. I'm also aware of that because I live in Kenya. I don't live in Mars, or I don't live in the US. All that we are aware as a party. But we want to tell what's their name, this one? Iebc, to try and do that mischief this time. And they will face the consequences and the wrath of the people of this country. So with those few remarks, I want to tell Iebc to desist and please provide the register, the updated register. When we speak to one of the ICT director, Mr. Muhati there, he's telling us the register is being updated. When we speak to Salome, the legal person, she's telling us the register is being verified. How can you verify a register that was used in 2017 elections? But I want to inform them that as we have all the data, we only want to see what they have. And it is the law that requires them to provide the register. It's not a choice. We are not begging from them. It is the law. With those few remarks, I want to welcome my chair to conclude exchange.
And in addition to what Honorable Junet has said, I think it should be on record that Iebc is limping today purely because of electoral fraud. The Iebc that we have today of 3 commissioners, which is even being debated whether it is constitutional or not constitutional, is because of the electoral fraud of 2017. And it seems that Iebc has not learned or is not able to learn from past mistakes and experiences. But I want to put it very clear that what we are asking is not outside the law. Transparency and accountability is demanded from all state officers and state institutions. Commissions are state institutions, commissioners are state officers. They are required by law to be transparent and accountable in whatever assignment they are given by the people of Kenya to do. At the moment, this commission, limping as it is, has been tasked with the responsibility of preparing and conducting and finally declaring the results of Kibra by-election following the death of the immediate former MP. And therefore, what we require from the Commission is information that must be made available to the people of Kenya. If you look at the Elections Act, it is very clear that we needed not even to ask IEBC to provide this register. It should be available in the portal of IEBC. Any Kenyan should be able to go there and see what that register, how it looks like, what names it contains, which names are there, mistakes which are there, so that if there is any mistake with a name, a voter can easily point out and have it corrected in good time to be able to vote. Now the question is, when IEBC refuses, because it cannot be a failure, they have all the machinery, they have all the resources. IEBC is one of the most resourced commission in this country. They have refused to make available information which they should ordinarily be making available. That is updated voters register. And the register which was used in 2017, they are not able to do that up to now. And you can see the mischief. Letters are written, IEBC is not responding. We would not be here today. We would not be addressing IEBC through the media. We had our officers, the executive director of ODM, which is one of the participating parties in this election, which by right is entitled to have information regarding the register that will be used during the election of 7th November. Our CEO wrote and no response. The Secretary General of the party, who is by our constitution, is supposed to be liaising and communicating with IEBC, wrote more than one letter, no response, until when now our lawyers wrote to IEBC, is when they are now they purportedly responded now to our SG, asking us to make payment so that they can make registers available, which we did on 3rd of October. Up to today, we are on 8th of October, and we still don't have the register. What, therefore, we conclude as a party is that IEBC does not want to be transparent, does not want to be accountable. And therefore, as a party participating in this election, we are telling them they must be transparent. IEBC must be transparent and must be accountable. And the only way to hold them accountable when they have refused to respond to us formally is to go to the offices tomorrow and demand for that transparency and demand for accountability by providing to us the register that will be used on November 7th. Election must be seen to be transparent, accountable, free and fair. It is not a question of doing it in a free and fair manner. It must be seen to be free and fair. And the only way it can be seen to be free and fair is by conducting your affairs in a transparent, objective, accountable, and responsible manner. In my view, IEBC commissioners, the 3 of them who are remaining in office, led by Wafula Chebukati, are not showing signs of responsibility for a state office, which is a requirement under Article 10 of the Constitution. Thank you very much.
And the election that
if we didn't have a reason to ask for Embakasi, we didn't ask. We have a reason to ask for Kibra. Thank you.
And the election.